Hi, I'm Father Roderick, and I'm about to see the movie Ben-Hur. Is it worth seeing? I will tell you after I've seen it. Here on the movie poster, I see Morgan Freeman. I suppose that's not Ben-Hur. That would be weird. But it is a remake. We live in the age of remakes. And so, well, Ben-Hur, it's been a long time since that first movie came out. Let's see what they made of the 2016 version. And it's 2016, so Ben-Hur is in 3D. That was Ben-Hur. What you hear in the background is the theme song of the movie that plays over the credits. I will tell you in a second what I thought of this movie. So, Ben-Hur, as usual, I'm going to keep this short, but here are my initial impressions. First of all, terrific movie. Really terrific movie. So much better than I expected. Here's what I loved. First of all, the way the movie looks, it shows you, for instance, Jerusalem in the time of Jesus, and it looks amazing. It's totally realistic. I liked the way they showed the Roman oppression. It makes you realize how hard it was on the local people, and also gives the main players in the story the necessary motivation for their roles. Speaking of the roles, I thought the main characters, the protagonists, were very, very well played. Great actors. Perhaps a little bit too Western in a certain way. The accents, there's the British accents, American accents. Of course, that kind of feels a bit unnatural, but, well, that's Hollywood for you, of course. But I think in terms of the way the movie looks, the production, the way they've dressed the sets and everything, it looks very well researched, and it's colorful, it's realistic, nothing over the top, and it just gives you a sense of the grandeur of Jerusalem in those days, and the power of the Romans that basically took over the city and the country. Other things to like, there are some terrific story beats. The final race, which of course is iconic for the movie, works really, really well. I was on the edge of my seat. It was like constantly. Another thing, I'm going to keep that for the end of my review, that I really liked was the story and the message it has. But before that, let me add a few points that I didn't care for that much. First of all, the 3D, really overrated. This movie doesn't need 3D. It doesn't get any better in 3D. Actually, for like 99% of the time, I didn't even realize it was in 3D, except for the fact that I was wearing these goofy glasses. So again, it's another example of 3D that doesn't add anything to the movie. Another thing, kind of halfway through the movie, the pace is getting lower a little bit. The dialogue, this is a general issue that I have with the movie. The dialogue is a little bit too ponderous at times, too much on the nose. I mean, it's good dialogue. At times, they really try to go beyond the chatter and say important things, but the times that it gets important, it is a little bit they're trying too hard. Anyway. You'll see for yourself if you watch the movie. Another thing that I didn't care for that much was the music. You just heard the final song, the theme song. That was just grating. It just does not match the movie. It doesn't match the time frame. It doesn't match the visuals. So the soundtrack really was subpar. Not that it matters too much, because it's mostly about the acting and the action. Gosh, what else is there to say? Again, the movie just looks glorious, and it gives you a context. Oh, another thing I liked really a lot was the way in which they, I think, upheld the religious message of the story. Of course, this plays in the time of Jesus, and actually Jesus plays a role in this movie. Plays an even bigger role than in the original version of Ben-Hur, and I thought that it was very well done. The actor does a good job, I think. It's respectful, but it also adds to the general message of the story. And this is going to be my final thing that I'm going to say about this movie. This is a movie with, I think, a religious message. For those of you that are religious, they will immediately grasp the kind of the tension, the difficult choice between standing for your rights and fighting versus peace, and all the dilemmas that brings with it. I really think that this movie has a very pertinent message for our times. We live in violent times, times that again makes us afraid of each other, afraid of the gruesomeness of the violence. And the Romans were pretty gruesome in their violence at the times. So in a way, our times are similar to the times of Jesus and the times of the Romans, the times of this story. What matters truly is, what do you do? Is it only going to evoke hatred? Is that the only way to react to violence? Or is there another way? And the theme of forgiveness in this movie is so central to the story, is central to what happens to the two main protagonists, the brothers that are ultimately end up, of course, in the race fighting against each other. But the way it plays out, this theme, and they set it up really, really carefully, and it's well done, and it comes. You see the relevance of forgiveness in the whole story, and the way it ends almost had me in tears. I thought I was very moved by the ending. So I don't know what effect this movie will have on you. These are just my initial impressions. I liked the movie much more than I thought it would because, well, it was a remake of such a classic movie that was already so well done. How can this movie even get close to that? Well, I really liked it. It's different. It's much more modern, I think, in a certain way. In the way it tells its story, of course, with all the special effects nowadays. We can, in a certain way, we have so much more tricks up our sleeve when it comes to telling this story visually. But I think it did a terrific job. It's different from the original Ben-Hur, but it's very, very well done. So, highly recommend it. I really liked it. And, well, that's it. Go see it for yourself. I'm Father Roderick. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time.